Last month, I spilled tea on my desk. 2 tablespoons, that's it. My heart started racing, my breath went tight, and before I knew it, my hand was reaching for my phone. I wasn't looking for information, I was looking for a way out of my own body. And I sit there thinking my body just reacted to the spilled tea the same way it used to react to a speed bump in traffic. It couldn't tell the difference. Threat is threat. I want to talk about why we can't put our phones down, but not in the way you've heard before, not delete your apps, not you just need more discipline. I want to talk about what's actually happening in your nervous system when you reach for that screen, and why the fix may be 1 second long. Hi, I'm Sandy. If you've ever picked up your phone 40 times a day without knowing why, if you've ever scrolled for an hour when you meant to check one message, this one is for you. On this channel, I talk about the nervous system, mindfulness, and how to build a life that actually feels like yours. Not from a place of I've got it all figured out, from the messy middle, where I still spill tea and feel my chest tighten. Today, I want to walk you through something I call the 1 second pause, where it came from, why it works, and how to use it to build a life that doesn't depend on your phone. The loop. Here is what I think is happening to a lot of us. You need to spend less time on your phone. You want a life offline, real people, real hobbies, real presence. But the more you think about building that life, the heavier it feels. And the heavier it feels, the more your body reads it as a threat. A thing you might fear at, a thing that might confirm something bad about you. So you reach for your phone, because your phone is the fastest way to escape that uncomfortable feeling. And then you've lost an hour, and you have less energy than before, and the gap between the life you want and the life you have gets wider, which makes the whole thing feel even heavier. It's a loop, a perfect negative spiral, and you cannot think your way out of it, because the part of your brain that's supposed to help you, the part that plans, that decides, that takes actions, is the first thing that shuts down when your body feels threatened. Why your brain does this? I have ADHD. I didn't get diagnosed until I was an adult. For most of my life, I thought I was just lazy or undisciplined or weak. What I know now is that my brain has trouble filtering what matters from what doesn't. Everything comes in at the same volume. The work email, the spilled tea, the wrong socks, the Instagram notification, all of it. Gabor Maté wrote a book called Scattered Minds. His idea is that ADHD, especially in sensitive people, isn't a brain defect. It's a tuning problem. If you grow up in an environment where stress is always in the air, your nervous system learns to stay on high alert. You never develop the filter that lets you log onto one thing and tune out the other. So when you sit down to do something hard, open a blank page, make a difficult phone call, or even just think about building an offline life, your brain doesn't say, let's do this. It says, danger. And your phone is right there. No effort, no chance of failure, immediate relief. The phone is not a tool, it's a pacifier. There is a creator I follow who calls the phone a digital pacifier, and that stuck with me. Because it's not really about dopamine or addiction to the feed. Those things are real, but they're not the whole picture. The bigger piece is that most of us have forgotten how to regulate our emotions any other way. Bored? Phone. Anxious? Phone. Lonely? Phone. Had a fight with someone you love? Phone. Facing a big decision and the uncertainty is eating at you? Phone. Your hand moves before you decided to move it. Maté wrote something in another book, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, that I think about all the time now. He said, the question is not why the addiction, the question is why the pain. That reframes everything. Because when I look at my own screen time honestly, the phone is not the problem. The problem is my solution. It's my attempt to solve the problem of being in pain and not knowing what else to do with it. The problem is that it's a solution that doesn't actually work. It numbs without healing, and every time I use it, the real solution, sitting with my feeling, letting my body process it, gets a little harder to reach. What I'm actually running from. I want to be honest about something. It's not boredom that sends me to my phone, not really. It's pain. When I'm facing a big decision, the kind where both options feel wrong and I can't see a good answer, I reach for my phone. When I've had a fight with someone close to me, when the air between us feels thick and I didn't know how to fix it, my hand moves towards the screen before I've even processed what I'm feeling. I'm not looking for information. I'm looking for a way to be in my body where it's holding something that hurts. Maté's argument in Angry Ghosts is about addiction in general, not just drugs, but any compulsive thing we do to fill a hole. When you don't feel connection or love with someone that you're close to, your brain doesn't produce enough endorphins, it doesn't produce enough oxytocins. Those are the chemicals that make you feel warm and safe and bonded. When they're missing, you reach for something else, something fast, something that doesn't ask any questions. The phone delivers, fast, no judgment, always there. But here is the thing, it numbs the pain without touching the wound. The wound is still there when you put your phone down. Only now you've also lost an hour and the thing you were avoiding is still waiting. And you feel worse, not better, and the loop tightens one more notch. 1 second. So what do you actually do? Let me tell you about a bike ride. Last year, I was circling in Beijing at a rush hour, and every time a speed bump came, I would do the same thing. Remember every bad bump from the past, tense up my whole body, lock my spine, and take the hit hard. My tailbone would ache for days. One day, I tried something different. When I saw the bump coming, I closed off the loop of remembered impacts in my head, just for 1 second, and let my body do what it already knew how to do. My spine curved, my pelvis tilted, the shock spread through my whole bike instead of exploding at one spot. I didn't fix my nervous system. I got out of its way. The same 1 second pause works with your phone. You reach for your phone, you notice your hand moving. Before you unlock the screen, you pause 1 second. You feel your feet on the floor and you ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Most of the time, the answer is not, I need to check something. The answer is, I'm hurt, I'm scared. I don't want to stay with this feeling. You don't have to fix the feeling. You don't have to put the phone down. The only thing you are practicing is noticing that there is a gap between the impulse and the action. Noticing you have a body that's holding an emotion you've been trying to escape. 1 second today, maybe 2 tomorrow. Over time, what we are building is a tolerance window. Your nervous system learns through repetition that discomfort is not an emergency, that the fight you had doesn't have to be solved this minute, that the big decision can be uncertain for one more day, that the feeling in your chest will eventually pass. The cruel paradox. I want to be straight with you about the hardest part. To build a life offline, you have to tolerate discomfort. You have to sit with pain after a fight without reaching for a screen. You have to face the scary decision without numbing yourself first. But the ability to tolerate discomfort is the very thing that gets weaker every time you use your phone to escape. The more you escape, the less you can handle. The less you can handle, the more you need to escape. So you cannot wait until you feel ready, because the mechanism that would make you ready is offline. And you cannot force it either. Your nervous system does not respond to force. It responds to safety, to small repeated evidence that you can survive the uncomfortable thing. This is the messy middle, two systems running at once. The part of you that wants the offline life, and the part that cannot bear the weight of starting. Most advice acts like you only have one system, but if you're there, you probably have two. 3 things you can do. So how do you actually start? Not in theory, not one day, starting from right now, where you are probably tired and a little frustrated and not sure if you have the energy. 3 things, none of them require willpower. Number 1, make the escape road harder and the good path easier. Delete your social media apps, turn on grayscale, keep your phone in another room while you're working or when you know you're about to face something emotionally hard. This is not a moral choice. It's design. Your brain takes the easiest path every single time. At the same time, make the offline life the easy path. Leave a book on your pillow, leave your yoga mat unrolled, sleep in your workout clothes. The less friction between you and the thing you want to do, the more likely you will do it. Number 2, replace the reach with a pause. Every time you notice your hand moving toward your phone, not because you need something, but because you are uncomfortable, pause. One breath, feel your feet on the floor, put your hand on your chest for a moment. You do not need to meditate for 20 minutes. You just need to interrupt the automatic loop. That interruption, repeated over weeks and months, is what rewires the highway. The inside doesn't fix the inside, but the body, when you give it 1 second of extra contact with the extra present, starts to remember. It knows how to regulate without a screen. Number 3, do things with other people. The opposite of scrolling is not productivity, it's connection. When I'm in a hard season after a fight or facing a decision that scares me, my screen time spikes. I used to tell myself I was just distracting myself, but the truth was I felt alone in the pain, and I didn't know what else to do. Maté is right. When the endorphins aren't there, when the oxytocin isn't there, you reach for a substitute. The phone is always right there, but it's a placeholder. It's not the real thing. Go to a class, join a workshop, call someone you trust and say, I had a fight and I don't know what to do. One real conversation does more for your nervous system than 100 hours of scrolling. The oxytocin is in someone's voice, not in their feed. A work in progress. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a productivity coach, I'm someone who still spills tea and feels her chest tighten. I still pick up my phone without knowing why. I still reach for the screen after a hard conversation, hoping it will feel something it was never designed to feel. This is a work in progress. I have not fully figured out, but I have noticed something. The days where I manage the 1 second pause, where I sit with the discomfort for just a bit longer instead of reaching, those days feel different. Not because I was more disciplined, because I was more present. And presence, it turns out, was the thing I'm trying to get from the phone the whole time. The phone just never delivered. If you're stuck in the loop right now, the more you want to build a life offline, the more you scroll, the less energy you'll have. Please hear this. This is not a personal failure. It's a nervous system doing exactly what a nervous system trained on threat does. It is seeking the fastest exit from pain. The fix is not more force, not more guilt, not more what's wrong with me. It's 1 second. A gap between the impulse and the action. A moment where your body remembers it has a quiet voice. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to become a different person. You just have to notice the pause is there and take it. The body already knows how to curve into the bump. It already knows how to hold the hurt without breaking. It just needs you to stop breathing long enough to light it. 1 second, that's there. If this connected with you, I wrote a longer piece about the 1 second pause and the neuroscience behind it. Link in the description. Subscribe for more from the Messy Middle.